It goes a little bit slower when I'm in the church, and I don't know. I'm in my office. Goes slower, so I don't know.
Well, it came up with got it.
Oh,
It came
good.
up with that message.
So
yes, it's live. Yes, it's live.
Life, okay. See if I can get it going for me. Okay, so what I do? Hello? Okay, got it. It's there you go. Yeah, cool. Yes. I guess I need to do let me do because we're gonna talk about Healy as well. So let's do the disclaimer, and then we can have a beautiful time together. So I'm going to share it a little bit, share the screen so you can see it.
I love those curtains, Julie.
Oh, thank you.
Blend in with you so well.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so because we're going to be talking about the Healy, so we want to be in alignment with what Healy teaches, stands for. So Healy is a microcurrent medical device that has been cleared by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration only for local relief of acute, chronic, and arthritis pain and muscle soreness due to overexertion. Healy also has non-medical applications that uses individualized microcurrent frequency, IMF, to harmonize your bioenergetic field. Always use your Healy in accordance with its instruction for use. All right. I'm going to stop sharing. And then we have the freedom to share as we freely can.
I just got a thing on Vibrate Live. Our Healy Zoom has gone live for those who
That's
can.
me. I just posted it. I just thought it would be nice.
Did you guys get? I have my. Let me make sure mine is here. I think I left it.
I've got this ready.
Well, I didn't know.
You look well. I think you look well, actually, Diana.
Yeah, you
look good.
God is just so good, because then, like, right after I had talked to you guys on Wednesday that, I was really not in good shape, and then you were praying for me, and then so I made myself go swimming Thursday, even though I wasn't really doing as good, but it helped because that rhythmic deep breathing when I snorkel, it's like exercising my lungs.
Very good. Very good.
That's
that was
wonderful.
like a big turning point for me. So
wow, that's wonderful.
I did last week, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So I think I actually stopped Julie because I was sharing about how are you doing with I don't know if I would say a loss. Of course, it's a loss for us because the Queen has been with us for like 90 something years. That's not
what was she, 96?
She was 96. I worked out that the youngest would have been, well, like me, I was born a few months after she was coronated. I was born in coronation year. That gives you away my age.
Wow.
So but then if they were children, they would be now 80. If you were like 0 to 10 when she was coronated, they would be about 80 now. Then obviously
80.
if you were
then
if you were 20, they would be obviously 90, and if there's any 100. So that's all we've known, and her influence around the world, and obviously the Commonwealth and realms, and the language that's used in all these. I don't know if you've been able to watch anything.
No, I haven't. I haven't myself. I haven't,
because it takes time. It does take up a lot of time, but it's absolutely amazing, because we've never heard, it's never been allowed, because we didn't have all the technology. We've never seen the ascension to the throne. We've never seen it that way. We've never seen the proclamations. So they went to every country in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, England, to proclaim, so that nobody can say, oh, he shouldn't be the king. You know, it's
Wow,
and
yeah.
I loved it because they used the words like in the year of our Lord 2022. It was just so beautiful.
Have you heard about the series? It's called The Crown.
Yeah, they said it. Yes, I heard that it
should.
is.
Oh, I started
should watch
watching it
it,
because
but-
I didn't know the history. You know,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I've known of her and all of that, but
Yes.
not the, you know, and it's just amazing what she went through to become,
Absolutely amazing.
you know,
And what's
how it was an assignment from God. It wasn't
absolutely
a job.
Absolutely. And what I felt, I've been so moved by it all, because not just because she's passed, but because the Lord, in his graciousness and kindness and his timing, because I think as a nation, I mean, speak for the United Kingdom, we've forgotten what majesty is. And it really, the royal family, the king or the queen, is to reflect who Jesus is, isn't it? The King of Kings.
King of
You know, on earth as it is in heaven. And I've been kind of not weeping as in lots of weeping, but really moved to tears at, you know, seeing all the splendor and all the different armies and regiments and their uniform and using the scepter and the crown, and I'm thinking it should all point to Jesus Christ, you know. So I feel that the Lord is waking up. I just get the sense that our country and all the realms and you know, all the countries around the world will be impacted, that we will remember majesty, the majesty of,
Yes,
of who he is.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that what you said, Julie, is absolutely wonderful. And we in a Western world and in other part don't really understand what kingship, and I know we're beginning to teach it, kingship and lordship, it's all about. And you know, the you know, just the majesty and you know, the splendor of, you know, I mean, I'm pulled to go watch, but I couldn't because I you know, like, you want to, when you go in, like for me, that kind of thing just pulls me, and I know, you know, but I don't have the time to do it at the moment, and so I haven't done any of those. But it just, like you're saying, you're able to, like, just think about it. This is earthly things that, you know, human beings are able to, you know, be and reflect. But it's really what you're saying, that is reflecting something higher. It's reflecting, you know, just know the kingdom God. Like we talk about the kingdom of God, but also to just, in this woman, and I don't know if there have been any other woman that have been that long in the history, and maybe there were, but just the legacy that she left for us, just the, you know, I mean, the courage that she led nation. Just think about it. She led, you know.
She did, and she made that vow, really, you know. Well, I mean, even in the coronation itself, if you ever have a chance to watch that, obviously it's a very old film, but she was anointed, that they put a canopy, almost like a hoopla, whatever you call it. You know, and nobody could see that part. They couldn't televise that part.
Sacred, yeah.
But she was anointed, and I'm thinking, because about 2 years ago, I prayed for the Queen at home, and I said she doesn't really have a chance to speak. She has to do what's asked of her. You know, this protocol she has to sign, and you know, she doesn't have a lot of, I don't think, to speak lots of things. So I prayed that in her end moment, kind of a bit like that her voice would be powerful. But what it dawned on me is, I'm not saying it's the same as the blood of Jesus that speaks.
No, we understand we're talking about.
You know, but her voice is speaking, because what's happened is triggered all the systems, the roots, the I can't think of the word, the constitution, the protocol, the everything written down. It's triggered all that to bring in the new king. Do you see what I mean? And it's reflecting on all that she did. So her voice is speaking. It is speaking
loudly, very loudly.
That's how I
and the
it.
integrity that she had, because we're called to submit to Christ, right?
Yeah.
Well, she gave up her whole life.
Her whole life.
Her
whole life
for the crown, for the anointing and the call that God had on her life. And the prince did too. I mean, Philip had to too.
Yes.
Give up everything they wanted and desired, and they didn't want to live in Buckingham Palace. They wanted to live in this other house, but they couldn't because
they couldn't.
It was, and so all of, I mean, to me, it's like, gosh, I wouldn't be able to do that.
They gave up their self in order to serve a larger,
and she served huge amount. When they get same words like her realms, the Commonwealth, the realms, there's another word they use. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, you think 2 days before her passing, she was working. She was bringing in the new, she brought in the old prime minister, so that was ended properly. And then our new prime minister, she received to say, now go and, go and choose your new government. It's
amazing. It's amazing.
Absolutely amazing. So some things change for good, I believe.
Yeah. And I think, and then Dr. O mentioned something, even I don't know if it was last week when he was teaching that, I mean, the new king that is now taking position, it's like God allowed her to be alive in such a way to prepare this man, because there was a time he wasn't ready. There was no way he could to be able to go through all the things he had to go through and to be ready. And so that's just incredible. Just incredible. Just
the timing is
God.
I mean, that's amazing.
He plans, everything is planned. There's nothing accident in our God's. We may, it may show up to us as accident, but no, God, everything is timed. God's timing, and it's the best, and it's the perfect the way it is, and the way it is not. It's just perfect. And it is also bring the imperfection in, like this is supposed to be this way or supposed to be that way. But when it is really just in God's hand, and I believe that God bless her. God bless her. She lived a legacy for all of us as women, just being a woman.
That's
commanding army, commanding.
Well,
oh my God!
It's absolutely amazing. And you think the millions of times that it's been sung, "God save our gracious Queen."
Yes,
and that the Lord has answered that. And something I read was that as we now sing "God save our gracious King," it has the DNA of what she carried in that song.
Yes,
and that really encouraged me. And another thing, I believe that we're so connected to your country. You're the as a nation, you're the eagle, if I'm correct. They're known as the eagle. Is that right?
Yeah, the way of the eagle. That
Yes, and we're the lion. Yeah, we're the lion, and I really believe that the Lord is gifted uniquely. Each nation has a gift, and I think that. United Kingdom, we've got to remember and come back to it again, but it's kind of majesty and maybe how to lead, maybe and America, I'm not I don't know, but you've got something we need. You've definitely got
every nation. Yes, every nation. And that's why even like the Christianity, as I'm saying that every nation has something that a nation needs, regardless of how we see them, whether they're poor or not poor. And that's why even like that do the teaching too, but I'm also seeing that each nation, no matter how small they are, no matter the
Yes,
poverty sticky, they have something that the other nation has to
absolutely.
be able, yeah.
I
So it could
absolutely
be like,
believe that.
spirituality. It could be, just like, so my husband went to, he was in Thailand and, this Asian nation last, but he came back with a different sense of, I mean, like the environment, just, and I see it like, he shows me a picture of where he was. It was just trees, and it felt like he was home, and that's like
Oh,
my home. It's like he was
yes,
on his trees, and he was just enjoying the trees, like, he was in his house. And I do know that really changed, I mean, also, transformed the ways he thinks about the environment, about the, cosmic, as a whole,
yeah,
the cosmos as a whole. And then, so he said, this is something we learn how people cherish. We were talking about last Sunday, how people, like, plant trees, and cherish
yeah,
the soils, and cherish all the animals that, that we all coexist in God's world, because he created all the things. And for us as Christians to really be in a space where we love and where we care for other creatures in the way that God wants us to do. Yeah. Huh?
yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. And I think that your nation, I mean, gosh, the world has received so much from America,
Yes.
haven't they? You've sent out the most to preach the gospel. I think you've probably given the most.
Yeah. But there's a time, but there is a time, I think, that other nations, like, both Asian, African, other part of the world, are now can also support America in terms of the
Yes,
spiritual well-being. There is
yeah,
resources. Let me just say, financial resources still in the West part, because, again, the way the system is set up is that, like my country, actually my village, we have coals, we have, a lot of mineral, but the West pays so that it's not mined. So anyway, so it kind of looks like you keep them, like a little bit lower, but there's a benefit, because if we are mining, then it's going to
yes,
be a loss to America. So the thing is that you're seeing the, I said like, it's like this. So
yes,
the spirituality here is a bit down, in general. I mean, I'm not talking about the individual. I'm talking about like the globe. I mean, in a larger scale of the West, the spirituality. But you see that, the spirituality of the people who they went to go do mission work is now giving back in terms of the
yeah,
spirituality.
yeah,
So the Asian nation are giving back in terms of the
yes,
spirituality. Of course, their wealth is also coming in because they're creating a lot of stuff. The African nation also giving back in terms of spirituality. And the West continue to, the West in terms of their spiritual, it's like, when you say, I'm not saying they burn out, but they, they came to a place where they serve in that capacity. And now they have resources. So
yeah,
now these people bring their spirituality, they bring all they bring it. So, so if we can see ourselves as just work as one, working together, because it's
yeah,
like the eyes cannot say to the nose
yeah,
or to the mouth. So you don't matter. You don't matter. But just
yeah.
seeing it,
That
that's
is
why
so
keep
true,
on
so
telling that
real.
we're body,
Yes,
we bring in this. Like I've taken some people from here to go to Africa. I mean, and then they came back and they totally changed, because the spirituality like flew up, because this like, oh my God, it's like some kind of fire just got kicked up in
yes,
there, and they got so revived and so rejuvenated, because you will see kids, that's you see this lady, Becca, what's her name? Heidi Becca.
oh
Heidi,
yeah,
check, go there and see kids. I mean, and then,
golly,
yeah, you
you
don't go
couldn't
there. You
come
don't
back
go.
the same, could you?
Yeah, people don't go there. People say we're going to mission work. No, well, you can go this is what I said. If you go in there, if you go into Africa, really, I said, go there with a skill. Let's say you're a teacher, you want to teach some little stuff, do it. If you're agricultural science, go do that. Teach, teach this physical stuff, but allow yourself to absorb the spirituality, the power, and the children that will. The children will just mess you up. They will mess you up with their simple belief. Your simple faith, and so it took me back when I was young, because we used to, we see a crippled person, we walk up to them and I say, do you believe, do you want to be healed? And that's our preaching. We didn't know anything. We don't know all this, like, laws of this and laws. We don't know any of those, but it was standing that Jesus said he's going to heal the sick and did us. And they just know this is it. And there's no question whether it's going to happen or not. Do you want to be healed? Yeah, that's our message. Do you want to be healed? Yeah. You got to believe in my Jesus. You got to believe, and then they claim it's like my Jesus. You got to believe in my Jesus, and he will do that for you. Do you want to believe in my Jesus? Do you want to get? And then, that's you will laugh. That's how we every Saturday we'll be on the street. We see, like in the northern part of Nigeria, there's a lot of crippled people. There's a lot of, like they have
deformities.
Deformities, and then leprosies and all those things. And the
like in the Bible, in the old King James, it's saying like lame, halted. They use strange words in the King James version, which describes what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's just saying we have so much, and no one place has all of them. Every place has a certain thing that other people need. So
I can't remember their names, but when I used to go to this prayer meeting once a month on a Saturday. Well, it was World Prayer Centre, so it's all over the world. But it's in Birmingham, in the city where I live, and there was these children from India, thousands and thousands and thousands of them, and it really made me cry, because they would go to the prayer tower. You'd see this little 3-year-old climb up to the prayer tower and face areas and pray. They would walk around cities, these children. They would have a telephone ministry, these children, and pray for the sick, and they would lay hands on grown-ups and they would get healed. They would save their families, and they were from a lot of poor families. And they had a television ministry in the end. But these tiny tots, little tiny ones, just it made me cry. It was so beautiful.
Sweet.
There is nothing to say, like they don't have all the other stories. What if it doesn't work? They don't anything like that.
Well, that's why we're to be like a child, aren't we? Not childish, but
childlike.
Childlike.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've worked with children. Well, you have too, and we all have worked with children, I guess. And I remember when I had the class, and you tell the children we're going to do a painting today, nursery, little ones. But you would say it in such a way that even though they've done it before, they would be in awe. You say, so exciting, children, but because today, guess what? You are going to paint something very special. It's going to be a picture of your mum or whatever. But they were listening as if they'd never heard it before.
I know. Kids are awesome.
Yeah.
Believe.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So let's talk about Healy. So because this is something that I'm telling you, I'm gonna, as soon as the week and my labor or work is going a bit down, I'm gonna spend time and start watching that, because that show, I think they say it's in Netflix that you mentioned. I wanna
The
Crown. Yes.
I've not watched it either.
I haven't watched
it. I would like to.
Well, they
haven't watched it.
They said that it is pretty accurate. I mean, it's fiction, so they make stuff up,
Yeah,
it's a bit of poetic license.
Right.
If you can, you could sit on YouTube, because you've got a shortened version. Have a look at the Queen's coronation, 1953, because that is
is that a movie too?
No, it's
No,
actually,
it's the actual recording, but there's a shorter version. If you see the Queen's coronation, 1953, you know,
So
it's on YouTube.
on
It's
YouTube.
on
Okay,
YouTube.
okay.
But there's
Okay,
a
cool.
shorter version, and it's, whew, it sends chills down your spine. It really will. Yeah, if you
Okay.
want to, you don't have to. But
well, you know, it's just, you know, some people really follow it and historically, but I just haven't. So it's good to watch that because it gives you a lot of background.
Yeah.
That helps you to understand
well, see, I've been educated by what they've shown on the television because it wasn't previously shown because we didn't have the technology to start with. But what I love is it's bringing us back to our foundation, because a house divided can't stand, and it's been a divided house in the government and in all the different houses,
even in the family.
And and they can't. There's been this sort of cancel woke culture. I don't know if you have there, but now people are you're hearing people in the public saying, "God save the king! God save the king!" You know what I mean?
Did he? Is he coronation? When is he being coronated?
No, he hasn't had
Okay, so after
yeah, I don't know when. They've got to obviously have the funeral. We've got a bank holiday this Monday. We've been given well, it doesn't affect me because I don't work, but
so is a burial this Monday?
It's a state funeral, but at the moment she's in state, so she's been going around from Edinburgh, Scotland, to Ireland. I think she went to Ireland. You know, I don't know.
Oh, they're taking her body around?
Her body all through. And now she's lying in state in Westminster Hall, and the public can go. So I've been watching that on television. Thousands.
30 hours in line to see her.
Oh, to see her body?
30 hours people are standing in line to see
They
her.
said they could, the queue could go back 10 miles.
Wow.
So, but they've got facilities along the route, you know, the amenities.
So they have her body and they're moving her around. They're moving the body.
Yes, but she's in a kind of
resting.
Well, virtually in the lasting place. Yeah, I think that's. I can't remember now if that's where she's going to be laid permanently, but it's just they've got the changing of the guard. They stand there for 20 minutes and they have the thing, and I forget what you call it, not the mace, but whatever it is, and they stamp it into the ground. Everything is so
precise,
beautifully done, and people are coming and bowing, and the Queen, Princess Anne, she curtsied herself
to her.
It's just
that's awesome.
So beautiful. Anyway,
well, let's talk about Healy. We're doing
coaching module.
Coaching module.
Just kind of like a quick review, but also just you know, a few little nuggets that I learned from watching a couple of videos.
I'm going to write this down. I'm writing some of this down.
Okay. The goal or the focus, you know, I've been struggling with because I didn't know what to write. I didn't know what I needed, you know, it's like blah, blah. And so this video, they said, you know, don't, you know, worry about what you write down because the Healy doesn't read it.
Oh.
The Healy reads our information field. So if our intent or our focus is spoken or written or whatever, that's what the Healy picks up when it does the analysis. So you don't have to worry, you know, if you don't get it just right, or you don't, you know, but there's a couple of little things. One is always use the present tense. In other words, what is it that you want? Not what has it been in the past. What is it that you want? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What is it? You know, that much focus. Okay.
Wow.
And it's really important too to be really as specific as you can. They use the example of a salesman who his focus was he wanted a red Ferrari.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty
Yeah.
specific, you know. And so anyway, it turns out he got all these promotions. He did, and so he had the money to buy the Ferrari and everything. But what happened in the process of that is he changed so much. The Ferrari, he took it for a drive, but then it was done. He instead invested and took his whole family on a vacation, you know, which wasn't the specific focus, but because the whole thing transformed him, because he was, you know, able to succeed at it. He felt like, you know, he had arrived, whatever, and then, but it lost its meaning, let's put it that way. So, you know, wherever we start, we can change the focus, we can refocus, we can, you know, because as we're in the process of being transformed.
Yes.
And we're going to be changed. And so it's okay to change, you know, the whole focus. Okay,
Yes.
so that's one thing. The other thing is to understand, you know, once it does the analysis, you know, it gives, and that's what I was looking for, is that they have a cheat sheet, and I've seen it and I could swear I have it, but I've gone through most of my stuff and I haven't found it, but explaining, like, the first number is a percent, right? It's 76%. That's kind of how you are resonating with that particular thing. If you're ready to, you know, engage it, or if it's under 50%, it's probably not something you need to even focus on.
Under how many? 50 or 15?
50.
Okay, 50.
That's just a parameter.
Okay.
Can I just ask?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Are you speaking now specifically for the coaching model, not just the whole of resonance?
No,
Are you?
It's the same for resonance.
Right. So anytime we get a percentage when we do the analysis, I can't say it. You know what I mean?
Anything above 50, you should really.
Yes, because say I've had a few quite high, so that's what I'm in need of. That's what we're in need of most. If it shows 70-80%, it shows we're in need of that. Yeah.
And then the next little number. Now, I don't know if this is on the resonance or not, but on the coaching module, there's a number. And if it's like, I don't know how high they go, but let's say it's a 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's buried pretty deep. You aren't really conscious of it. You're not aware of it, but it's needs to be dealt with because it's deep. Okay. It's an 8 or a 9. Then you are pretty aware of it, probably worked on it some. You can still work on it, but it's not as urgent, I guess, or as a lower number. So, as soon as you do the analysis, you want to click on the little arrows, you know, those 3 little arrows, and it gives you a way to, and you want to go to the potency.
Okay.
And you want to have it filtered all that you analyze through that by how potent is it, you know. But this is what I found interesting, because then after that little number comes the Roman numerals. You know, the L, the D's, the C's, the LMs. Okay, so if it has a D, that is a cause. It could be a root cause of something. It could be a life theme, something you've dealt with your whole life. And then specifically some, and that's why we need the cheat sheet that they talked about. I don't know how to find, but I'm going to find it.
I have been looking and I haven't found it.
Well, because the video is an older one, but it's the guy, who's his name? Glenn Close.
Oh, Glenn. Okay.
Glenn, did you say?
Glenn.
Glenn. Is that right, Glenn?
Yeah, Glenn Close.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he was saying, you know,
Or Ken Close, is it?
oh,
Ken.
maybe it's Ken. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Ken. You're right. So anyway, they were saying, if you want this cheat sheet, you know, just jump on the chat and we'll send it to you. Well,
Mhm.
they were live, you know, and now this is not live, it's a recording. thing,
Mm.
you know, so I don't know, but I'm sure it's available somewhere. But anyway, but one of the things on the D, like if it's a D1 E36, then more than likely that's ancestral, generational.
Mm.
And so, you know, it's really good to be aware of that when you're doing it. Okay.
Hmm.
Then the letter C mean it's the consequences of the causes. So it'll
Mm.
be more probably behavioral, what you
Mm.
actually, you know, are doing or whatever. And then if it's an LM, it's something spiritual.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay. But they do, and I remember seeing this a while when I first was getting into the resonance. You know, it's good to pay attention to those because they are meaningful if you understand them, you know. So that was the thing. And then they really, you know, because a lot of this is going to be dealing with emotional stuff,
Mhm.
you know, and that's kind of holding you back or keeping you stuck or,
Mm.
you know, whatever. Then they encourage you to use the Bach flowers, the Alaskan gems, you know, to vibrate them when you're doing this to help. And some of the mental balance on the pink dot too helps, just to, you know, because you start it and like the one that I started with was on procrastination
Okay.
and dealing with papers and mail and, you know, it just overwhelms me and I don't want to do it. I don't like to do it and I avoid it.
Mm.
It's worse, you know. So
Mm.
anyway, but when I started running the program that it came up with for me, it made me realize that, you know, I've spent a lot of time in 12-step programs learning. I'm an adult child, I'm an alcoholic. So there was a lot of things we didn't learn in my family that I had to learn. But then there's a lot of negative things that we learned in the family. And, you know, like for an example, financially,
Mm.
when my dad got paid, it wasn't a good time because then he could get the alcohol. When we were broke, it was a good time because he was sober because he didn't have money to
Mm.
buy it. So that made me want to get rid of my money. You know, I want to spend it till it's gone, because when it's gone, then it's better. I mean, it sounds silly, but my beginning adult life, I just spent the money as fast as I got it. You know, I didn't plan, I didn't save, I didn't budget, because we were the happiest when we were broke.
Um.
You know, so now you think, okay, what's that got to do with procrastination? Well,
Mhm.
procrastination creates chaos. And in my family, we were addicted to chaos. I mean, when things were going smooth, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? Or for the sky to fall, you know, because you never knew when it was coming. And so you couldn't sit in success because it was tenuous, you know? So all these things have been coming up
Mm.
dealing with my procrastination. And that's what they said will happen.
Wow.
As you begin, you know, God reveals more and deals more. But it basically even when I was in school, I was a teacher, I had multiple grades, multiple levels, because I had special needs kids. So I had anywhere from pre-K to
Mhm.
fourth grade academic levels.
Mm.
I had to manage all that material, you know, for every level, because you never, and I did, and it wasn't that much, but what I found that kept happening is I would put this in a file to file. You know, this needs to be filed because I had a system. Well, I never got to the file. So the paper would just pile up, and then I needed it and I couldn't find it because it wasn't filed. It was in the basket. You know, it was just, it got to be very stressful. And so anyway, here at home, it was the same thing. Oh, this needs to be in the medical, but I have to file it. So I'll put it here. And it never gets filed. And so I've just got stacks upon stacks. Well, I started running it. Well, whenever we did this the last time, however long ago that was, I've gotten down, I've done so many stacks, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
I mean, just, it's just, there's a difference now for me. It's like, because I said, I am capable of managing stacks of paper. You know, I mean, that's what I wrote, right? And so, and in fact, one of the things, you know, I was in the hospital a year ago, right? With that.
Yeah.
Well, we got a stimulus check in October, right?
Yeah.
I just found it the other day.
Oh, wow.
I haven't deposited it.
That's beautiful.
I know. And so, you know, thank you, Jesus. But in other words, it's working. And I can't tell you like specifically, but there's a change in my attitude towards it. It's more like I get more joy from accomplishing dealing with that stack than I ever did. You know, it was like, okay, so now there's another one. It's like the laundry, it never stops. Right? You know, but God has been really gracious to me to help me see that I have the organizational skills. I just have to implement them. And so that's what it's helped me to do, is to, you know, I've got a system, I've got everything labeled. I've got these little, what do you call it? Drawers, you know, everything's super organized, but I just don't get to the part of putting everything where it's supposed to go. So now I'm starting to do that. And it's a great feeling, you know. So my next one that I want to start working on is about my weight, because it's been an issue my whole life. And so I've got my focus pretty much written out, and they say it's really good, you know, just like any affirmations or any declarations that we do, it's good to write them out, because then if you forget them, you can just, you know, find them again and speak them. And it's good to speak it forth, you know, so that, because I used to tell my kids this all the time, when you say it, you hear it. So now your brain is engaged two ways. And if you write it, there's three. If you see the writing, that's four. And if you speak that writing, there you go. It's the second time, but so, you know, so it just engages the whole brain, you know, because you're doing your, I forget what it's even called now, but, you know, sight, hear, speak, peck, touch.
That's
So,
correct.
you know,
senses,
yeah, you're engaging all the senses, and the brain is using both sides of the brain, you know. So anyway, what else was there? You guys have any questions? Or oh, the other thing that's really good,
I was going to say, how many times did you run that program?
It's kind of like, it's mostly vibrational, so it doesn't take very long. So I run it 2 or 3 times a day. Like if I sit down to do a program, I'll do that just right before. So And the other thing is that you can send yourself a PDF. And so
Okay.
it, you know, and they do encourage you to work with a coach, but I'm just right now with everything else going on, I'm just not there yet. I'm just like learning to use it, and it's definitely beneficial. And then the other thing is I know Dr. O had a book out a while back about abundant life.
Oh, I've got that book. Yeah.
Well, you know, a lot of this is about living in abundance, you know, and that's not a comfortable place for me. I want it to be. I'm working towards that. But so a lot of my intents put that word in it, you know, because living life to the full or in abundance, that means in every area
of life, yes.
Every, not just financially, but physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of them. And so when I write the focus, I make sure I include that the result that I'm looking for is to live in abundance in everything I do and everything I have. And so that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
yes, wonderful. So with the coaching, is you do an analysis. You just
If you want, can you
I'll give you opportunity to share screen.
Yeah, because I can show you.
Yes.
Are we going to do one?
Do we have time? Yeah, maybe. I can at least share with you. Let me just, I'm getting it queued up here.
Okay, I made you a co-host, so
Okay, so I can share my screen. Okay, it says, okay, where, I guess I want this one. Share. A plugin is required. What? Okay. I don't understand. It's okay. When I tap the share, Mama O, it says it says basic, and then it's got a whiteboard, iPhone or iPad via AirPlay, which is what
so are you sharing? What are you sharing with?
I can share with that, but when I tapped it, it said something that I needed. Let me see what happens here. A plugin is required to share an iPhone or iPad screen.
Yeah, you need your iPhone charger.
Oh, the charger?
Yes, there you go. It's coming. It's now.
It's coming on now?
Yeah, it has started sharing.
Yeah, it says
just say Diane has started sharing her screen. Screen share.
Okay, so why don't I see it? I don't need to see it? You see my screen?
You should. Well, you should see. Maybe click on something or something, because it just has Diane has started sharing her screen. So, but you haven't seen other stuff other than that.
Okay, so it says connect to Wi-Fi. I'm connected. Tap the screen. Oh, okay, I know what I have to do. Hang on. Okay. Okay, can you see?
Can see your screen, yeah.
It says screen mirroring.
Wi-Fi, yes.
Okay, so I don't know why it's playing my Hawaiian music. We were walking hand in hand. Let me stop it. On a white sandy beach of Hawaii. We were playing in the sun. We were having so much fun on a white sandy beach. I don't know what's going on. Now it's playing
Is the one you selected, is that the one you're sharing, the one you had a check on?
Yeah.
Okay, then you want to click, you click on that.
Sound of the ocean.
It doesn't allow for options.
I don't know where the music's coming from because it's my Hawaiian music, but it's not coming up on my iTunes. So when I push pause, it doesn't stop. This is so wild.
Soothes my restless soul. The sound of the ocean rocks me all night long.
Okay, so
oh, last night in my dreams, I saw your face again. We were there.
Is it coming from your iTunes?
On a white sandy beach. Oh, oh, oh,
I don't know how to stop it. Well, I wonder if I can just turn it down. Okay, just turn it down. That's so wild. Okay, I'm going to try this again. Mirror the, okay. And I want to do the zoom. And there goes the music again.
to rise from the ashes.
Okay. I want to be able to. Okay, there. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can see that?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
Okay, so I've got to get it to go to this. So in my list, okay, it's going to take all day. Okay. And all of the coaching modules come up as green. You know how the ones we put in
Uh-huh.
come up as pink, right?
Okay.
On our list. Okay, so, okay, the green, I have one for breath. Wait, but where's my procrastination one? Who cares? Okay, I just had to do that to get it to go.
Okay. So, okay.
Because it's not connected. Okay, so 78% this one was.
Oh, okay.
And then number
the breath,
7,
breathing.
which means I'm very aware of it. This is my
Mhm.
breathing and for emotional balance and emotional harmony. But this wasn't a coaching one. This is just a regular resonance.
You all right, Mama?
Yeah. Yeah. I need to get some water.
I keep trying to do it on here and it's like,
Okay.
okay, now it's going to let me into my coaching ones.
Okay.
I like the music it's playing. I just don't know where it's coming from. Okay, it's scanning. Why isn't it picking it up? Taking
It says
forever.
no device.
No device is
see it
found.
says-
Try again. Okay, scanning for Bluetooth. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. There we go. Now, once it's connected, I can go into the, okay. Okay, so now it's showing we do the resonance coaching or the aura analysis. So we're going to go to the coaching. And
Are we doing
just
this
put
with
in
you
your
now?
client or who's doing it. This one's for me. Here again is where you enter the focus. Oh, here's another little tidbit that I learned. If you're like me, I have a hard time typing on the phone because they're so small. So you can type it anywhere, send it to yourself in a message, and then copy it into the Healy.
All right.
Just, so I'm trying to think, because it's already almost 2:00.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to my little house here. Okay. And see if I can just show you. This is weird. I don't know where happened to my procrastination one.
Mm.
Would it be under your list? Or are these the lists?
Did I want to say weight and strength? Okay. And you say it's
Okay,
usually.
I had to turn you guys down because the music was so loud. Okay. Okay, what did you say, Julie?
Have you got it under lists? I know this is kind of a list, but have you specified?
Still
Have you made a category under the coaching list?
It's supposed to be in my list, and
Right.
I haven't used my clip broke, so I haven't been using my professional one lately. So I don't know what happened to it, because it's definitely not here.
Okay.
But here's one but that one we already looked at. It's only got one in it. I don't want to do that one. Do you guys have a quick little focus that we could do, or do you want to?
Only if there's time. I'm ready. I can do it. I've got my phone, but it depends whether we've got time to do it. If you see what I mean.
I've got a little bit of time. How about you, Mama? Oh,
Yes, I do.
okay.
I'm all right. Yeah.
Okay. If I could just get this music to stop. Step into me. Step into me.
Is it playing from what you last listened to?
No, it's playing all different things. Like it started with the Hawaiian music, and now it's into.
But is it from your music list?
It's my music, yeah.
But if you can go, I mean, say it's Apple Music or wherever.
Actually, it was iTunes. These are all
iTunes.
in my iTunes.
Can you not just go into iTunes and
normally,
switch it off?
yes, you go in and you can just pause it, but now it's like.
Well, what if? Oh, I don't know.
It's so crazy. Must be coming from Apple Music somehow. Let me see if I can. But see, if I mute it, then I mute you guys. You can hear me or no?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Ah,
Crazy.
okay.
Well, if you have a question, I'll try to answer it. But it's so hard with the music going to. I wonder if we can just continue with the data. One thing, a couple of little things. Yeah, just click on continue to the whatever it says.
I haven't done my focus
What did
yet.
it say?
Are we?
Continue with the database. Oh, now it's got to scan me again.
But you have to do the focus first, yeah?
Because the next part is the trickiest, I guess you could say. So we're just going to continue with the database selections. Oh, I got to do it on the phone. I keep trying to do it on there. Okay, now do you see the list?
Yes.
Yes.
So in the career, which we might not, but there's 366 different ones, frequencies that you can choose. Under emotional balance, there's 136. And if you want to see what they are before you decide how many, you can push this little arrow. And so under emotional harmony, there's 21. Energy and power, there's 36. Living consciously, there's 79. But if you do the arrow again, it gives you what there are. I mean, and it shows you exactly what it says. So I experience myself as part of the whole, and at the same time, I am a free will. By combining this, I recognize and balance the polarity between perseverance in the effort to understand something versus the how do you say that? Of this effort, as well as disinterest in letting oneself go. You know,
The renunciation.
The time you have to exercise opposed to doing nothing. Anyway, you can kind of read through and get a feel for if any of those resonate with you before you actually go back and pick it. Okay. But in this area, if we were going to do it, I would pick from the one with the most, the 79, the living consciously. And so then you can just pick how many you want. I would say 3 for that particular one.
Okay.
Okay, so
why would you say 3? I mean,
I want to go back. Oh, because I'm done. Okay, go back. Okay, so now the next one, well, the number didn't transfer, so I'm going to put the 3.
So I've clicked 1 at the moment. Are we to click 3 categories?
Okay.
Don't know.
Out of there. Family relations, 78%. And if you want to see what it's made up of, okay. It's boundaries and team spirit. And there's 26 of those. Dissolve imprints and ancestral claims. That means that things that kind of from your family, you know, that patterns and different things that aren't helpful, right? And there's 24 of those. And then just harmonization of areas of life, there's 28. I probably, for me, would choose this one, and I probably would only do maybe 2. Okay. And so you just go through this and I guess, I don't know why it's doing that. But this one, look at the goals, 339. That's a lot, you know. But what's good about the Healy is because of the, I always have a hard time with the name of the physics that operates this. What is it called? I'll think of it in a minute.
Okay, I have 5 more minutes before my next meeting.
The sensor that's in the Healy.
The quantum sensor.
The quantum.
What?
Is that the quantum
then-
sensor?
You know,
can't hear.
motivational disorders,
Oh,
205. And I would say that I fall in that category, you know, being motivated to go through the stacks, you know, being motivated to whatever. And so let's just look at one and see what one sounds like. I feel like I can't do it or make it. Well, we're not going to use that one because that's a negative.
Yeah.
There's conflict between my will and an idea, fear of success, wanting to realize too much at once, the sense of commitment necessary for realization is missing. You know, that was definitely missing for me with getting through the stacks, right?
Mhm.
The expectation that the desired will be realized is missing. So these are the kind of things that are underlying sometimes why we aren't able to get things accomplished that we know we should be able to, but we just don't. So I'm going to definitely pick like 3 out of that one. Okay, so since we have kind of a short amount of time,
Mhm.
So I'm going to just check this one. You almost always have to do a self-worth one because, okay, so I'm going to do 3 of those. I am having to go back and do the numbers. Okay, 1, I chose 1. No, I'm going to do, that one was 3. The goals were 3. Okay, so now we're done with that. Keep doing that. Okay, so now you're going to actually, you're ready for the analysis, but before you do anything, we have to check that big box, that check up at the top, because that will
Okay.
save it.
Okay.
And then you get the analysis page. You know, if you had the focus in there, and then you start the analysis. You sure you want to do this without a focus? Yeah, just for today.
Mm. Mm.
You know. Okay, so here's the little arrow thing, and this is where we want to go to pick potency. Wait a minute. Okay, so it'll file them according to, okay, now right now it's the highest to the lowest, but I could click this little arrow on here though, and then it goes from the lowest to the highest. So now this one's 88%, but this one is deep. It's a 2. I'm not really conscious of it or aware of it very much.
Mm.
It's a D, which is a root. In other words, it's the cause. And so I recognize the unconscious causes that lead me to believe that the happiness of others is contingent on my dedication.
Mm.
I realize that by serving myself, I am also being most beneficial to others in doing so. My happiness is radiating. Happiness is contagious.
And those things you can also rewrite it. So
I put other people before me at my own cost.
Mm.
And so this one would be one that I would definitely keep. Okay, this one is also a good percentage, but and it's pretty deep, but it's one of the consequences. So now I recognize and I harmonize and transform what causes stress to my personality and character. In other words, I pay attention to me. And that's a hard thing to do when you've been too otherly. It's good to be otherly, but not at your own
expense.
Okay. So you're getting the idea?
Yeah.
Now, if there is one that comes up, let's see. This is another one, living consciously, energy and power. Okay, so here's one that's kind of, I'm very aware of, but it doesn't mean I don't need it, because it's all about lack of discipline. I'm disciplined in some areas, but not in others. So I would probably keep it, even though it's a 8. Here's one that's a 7, and this one is spiritual.
I forgot, what did you say? Determine, like, shows whether it's spiritual. Is it the number, or is that the Roma? I mean the Roma, the number. I mean the
Yeah.
what determines whether
sure.
it's
Wait, you see the little red X, right?
Yes.
Any one of these, I don't think that's for me right now. I think I've worked on that, and accept the reality and existence of traits and feelings so that I can change or overcome them, but since it's my first time, I probably would just keep everything. But you can eliminate it if it doesn't resonate with you. Just push that little X and it's gone for this one. Then under actions, you get to have a PDF. I'm generating it. And now this one is going to tell you exactly, what it is, and then the statement that goes with it for each one. How come it only did 1 and 2? So little.
Okay, my time is coming closer, my dear.
And I'm not sure what this little thing is.
Okay, so then can you hear me?
Oh, it's who I want to send it to.
I don't think she can hear us at all.
No.
I'm saying my time is, I have to leave now.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing
Thank you.
so that we can talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta go. Oh. I found the music. I think I turned it off. I don't know.
You couldn't hear us at all when she still can't hear us.
She can't hear.
Okay. Yeah, because I was asking questions, she couldn't, but it's okay.
Yeah. I'll have to practice. I haven't been able to do it properly.
Yeah, I have to go back and check and listen to it. And there is a yeah. Okay, you can just maybe if I stop her from being remove call share permission. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
you
had to
hear
remove
now.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you. We'll ask questions, but you couldn't hear. I couldn't hear. So anyway, but my time is actually gone. I have another meeting coming up, And I just want to say thank you so very much for
Thank you.
So we're going to take some time, and I know that we there was some question I wanted to ask, but actually I was asking, but because you couldn't hear, so we weren't
Yeah.
able to.
So
Yeah.
maybe next week we'll continue just with questions and answers. And
That's right.
if you
Yes.
have our own focus.
I'm going to try and practice. I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't manage to do it properly just now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Too
The
much
first
going
time
on
you
with that
shared, I did.
music, and I don't know what happened with that music, but it's crazy. Anyway, yeah. So let's just have a question and answer time next
For
week.
next week, yes.
Okay.
And then and if we thank you so very much. I will
Thank you,
have to
guys.
learn. I love you all, and God bless you, bless you,
Thank
bless
you,
you.
Mama O.
Yeah,
for
thank